You're listening to the World Footie Net podcast. Welcome to the World Footie Net podcast. You can email us at podcast@worldfootie.net or alternatively, post your comments on the World Footie Net Facebook page.
Today we discuss the beginning of the EPL season and some of the controversies in the footy news of note. Later on, the lovely Miss Louise Kay is back with her own regular segment predicting each week's English League games. Check on her predictions and see how close she gets to the results. Now sit back and enjoy the next WFN Weekly Soccer Podcast.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the WFN podcast. I'm your not-so-humble host, Hooligan J. Broom, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, my handle is Hooligan Broom. With me tonight is Andre Sherrard. How are you doing, Andre?
I'm doing all right. My name's Andre Sherrard, a.k.a. Angry, a.k.a. Mario Balotelli. You can follow me at HT4005.
All righty. And also with us this evening is our founder and faithful engineer, Dre Footie. How are you doing, Dre?
Doing okay. Don't really want anybody to follow me on Twitter, but if you want to follow World Footie Net as an entity, you can go to @WFootieNet, and you can join in the banter there if you want to talk about MLS, if you want to talk about English Premier League, whatever. It's open for discussion.
All righty. And we're going to hop right into it tonight, guys, since we're kind of short-handed this evening. EPL season starts Saturday. Is everyone excited about this? I can tell you I am, for sure. Yeah, I've been waiting for real football to come back after the Euros. I've been, as we all know, I really don't follow the domestic game other than what happens here locally in Atlanta. But I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. Arsenal has had a pretty good preseason, so I'm pretty excited. How about you, Footie?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole structure of the competition, of course, is what appeals to me. And while I can watch football of many different levels, whether it's amateur, MLS, or whatever, it really does boil down to this is the competition that sets the standard for me personally. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. I was excited about even the Charity Shield, two teams I despise.
Yeah.
The fact that they're back and competing against gives me something to have an opinion about and test the waters a little bit of the competition. Although it was strictly a preseason friendly, but it really is the kickoff to the English season, and that's what's exciting coming up. So. The friendlies gave us a little bit of a taste, but they kicked the ball in anger for real this coming weekend.
Yeah, I just want to poke in there real quick that, Angry and I were correct about the winner. Anyway,
Yep.
Yeah.
Angry, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing all right. I'm ready for the games. I actually have an article coming out talking about the big three and what I expect for this coming up season, and I just can't wait for the games to start. My team, Valencia, plays against Real Madrid this weekend, this Sunday, so I'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully, we found a striker in Nelson Valdez from Rubin Kazan in Russia.
Yeah.
So he's on loan for us for this season with the option to buy. So hopefully we're able to find a left back, which we've been trying to find right now, at least as either a first or second choice. We've thought about Ali Sissoko of Lyon and Nacho Monreal from Malaga. So yeah, I mean we're looking for some positions. We're obviously can't buy like the English clubs or Barcelona, Real Madrid. So we have to find it cheap. And I mean, luckily we got our striker on loan. So maybe we can dish out some money for Sissoko since he'll probably be worth around probably like 10 million euros or so. So yeah, I
Okay.
can't wait. Can't wait for things to get started.
All right. And your adopted team, Angry, what's their first fixture of the season? Do you know?
My adopted team. Well, since I had a gun to my head and I had to choose an English team, I decided to choose Manchester City for the time being, and they play against Southampton on I believe it is Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday morning at 11 o'clock our time, but yeah, we play them at Eastlands. I mean, or whatever they want to call that place. But
Etihad.
I'm not even going to try.
Sit there.
But pretty much we bought Jack Rodwell, which is one of the only players we bought, and possibly getting Daniel Agger also. We're thinking about buying him. But Mancini hasn't been real too happy about this summer season so far.
Yeah.
He's been complaining about Brian Marwood not finding players, and that could be a concern throughout this season because you have a manager questioning the upper management, and you question the owner's vision, motives. He doesn't want to buy too many players. I mean, we don't need too many players. I mean, we have a hard time trying to get rid of Adebayor. So this is going to be somewhat of a problem, even for the players, because they have to deal with, like, why does our manager want to buy new players? We can do the job. They've done the job.
Right.
So I think this is going to be a problem within the season, and I would not be surprised if Mancini resigns by the end of the season.
Resign.
I would not be
fired.
surprised. I would not be surprised because if they don't buy anybody, if they don't quote unquote listen to what he says, then I believe he's that type of guy that would just pick up his ball and go home.
Yeah.
It's just my thought. Just my thought.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's always a possibility with Mancini. He's such a a sensitive what do we want to call it, metrosexual maybe. I mean, there's no telling with that guy. Exactly, that's what I look at. Like, you got a team of basically all superstars anyway. Why would you bring anyone else in? Why would you not then, if you have a good first team with a deep bench like they do,
yeah,
why would you not then shift the focus to making your reserves as strong as they can be? In case you do get someone really hurt, you've got a reserve player that you can bring up. You don't have to go out and buy anybody. Keep it in-house. I mean, that's some logic with the modern game that I just don't ascribe to.
Well, I want to know how you can spend 300 million pounds in 2 years and still not have enough players.
Right.
I want to know how what's the math behind that? And Arsenal spends a fraction of that, and they stay within touch of City, which tells you a lot about the management levels that are there. That's why I don't have a lot of respect for Mancini.
Yeah.
He has an open checkbook. All the money in the world. He has the ability to pull up and do anything anytime, yet he still feels impotent. And he made he's trying to do these mind games, and he made the statement that Manchester United are the favorites this year for the title. I'm like, he's having a laugh.
Yeah.
I think that could be his mind games to the the owners and everybody else too, because he claims that his team is third and fourth best.
Well, see,
so he might actually be saying, "Hey, guys, we're not favorites, so buy me some stuff."
Who has he told that to that believes that other than himself? I mean, if he wants to play mind games with Fergie, he's barking up the wrong tree.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I shouldn't say I don't think he knows better, because I don't know if he does know better.
Yeah, that's
I
okay.
think that was a statement to the people up top. I think that's what that statement was for. I don't
It's
think it was strictly for the teams, above and below. They know better. They know that Manchester City is the best team in the league right now with
it,
the players they have.
Now
if
hold on, fella. I don't know if I go that far. Don't
I would
make me get all stabby up in here.
I think you can say
Have you
that
have you guys bought any defenders?
We don't need defenders.
Are you sure?
No.
just need to keep them healthy. Need to keep them healthy.
Right.
I
All right.
think I gotta agree with Sherrod. I think that Man City has the best talent in the league. Now, are they the best team? That's debatable.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
I
probably
think it's
said that
debatable
wrong
from that point.
there. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I was meaning more on the player front that they have the best players. Which I mean, like last season, which Man City could have blown it for him. The team bailed him out. The players bailed him out of that, and they end up winning.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
despite
See, I look to a United, an Arsenal, not Chelsea this year, but I mean, maybe even a Sunderland. To me, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have a team,
hmm
an actual team that can work together and communicate, all that talent's for naught.
yeah, I
They
think that
can't get anything done.
if City win the league again, it's not because of the management. It's because they have this enormous amount of talent that they're able to plug in and out, and they will outlast other teams. So, the key for teams like United and Arsenal, and even Chelsea, even Liverpool. I'm interested. Liverpool's making some interesting moves. I
Yeah.
think the key for these types of teams is going to be injuries and the competitions that they're in during the season. I think all of those are keys to whether or not they stay with City. I think that someone like Mancini is a detriment to the club, and that last year they won despite having him at the helm. And I lost a lot of respect for him. I just don't like the way he handles the club. And
Well,
one week he's saying one thing and doing one thing, and the next he's doing something completely different. And if I was a player, I'd start ignoring him.
I think we all know Mancini is a weak-chested Nancy boy. I mean, I think we know that from jump. That he's not making a lot of player decisions. So I'm sure somewhere in his crooked little head he feels very impotent. And that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. He gets his jabs in at management as well as other teams where he can, because he's a little boy and he doesn't have a lot of decision making ability. As much as people would like to believe. Uh, I think any manager that's worth their salt, regardless of how good he is, Tevez would not have come back to the squad. You know,
Balotelli.
I mean, it's just like Balotelli's a different story, but like Tevez, even for me coaching youth, I have a defender kid who's excellent, but his attitude was all wrong. And he opened his mouth and let it fly. I told him, get elsewhere. I'd rather develop another player and lose a little bit and have a overall good team attitude than let that one rotten apple in to destroy the team. And that's where I feel like Mancini got told, you will let Tevez back. Because I mean, wasn't his comment, that dude will not see my bench again? I mean, isn't that basically what was said last year?
Yeah, but he also said that about Balotelli too.
Angry. What did Mancini
I,
say about Balotelli? That
I
he'd
don't
punch him
believe.
in the head every practice?
Yeah, if he was playing.
Okay, moving on from this. Dre Footie, let us in about United.
Well, there's a lot of rumor and innuendo going around about this club. They're trying to. I like the moves they've been making. I think Kagawa is a really good find.
Yeah.
There's some others that are rumored to be coming into the side. this Robin Van Persie thing, though. While I would like to have Van Persie at United, I just think there's something wrong with that if he does sign for
Well,
United. It just seems I don't really see the point for him right now. It seems like the perfect place for him right now is in London with Arsenal.
well,
And
we can get to that RVP saga in a little. Who's your first fixture this year?
it's going to be Everton, and it's at
Ooh.
Goodison Park. Could be a tricky one
Yeah.
to start the season off. It's interesting. They go Everton, Fulham, Southampton, Wigan, and
Mm.
I believe all are very winnable games to start the season. But again, you're talking about a new mixture of talent that they've brought in. It's I don't know. It's up in the air. I like United right now. I've seen them play, although they haven't been putting a lot of goals in. The individual play of the players has been solid, from the goalkeeper, defenders on through to the front line. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once we really kick things off.
Yeah. For me, Arsenal starting at home against Sunderland. I wish Curdy was on. Let's see. We have I forget who all we have.
Your fixtures. All right, you start with Sunderland at the Emirates, then you go to Stoke. Ooh.
Yeah.
Liverpool at Anfield, Southampton at the Emirates, and then Man City at Etihad,
Yeah.
and then Chelsea. Yeah, that's a rocky road.
Yeah, and that's my questions are Sunderland is really without strikers right now, all said and done. O'Neill's teams can be tricky, period.
Seems like, oh yeah, I agree with you. I wish Kurt was here because it seems like O'Neill's hands are tied.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit worried about liver poo and
Yeah, we gotta get fast back on here.
yeah, man shitty.
If Suarez stopped hitting the post, they'd be more dangerous.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
all of them start hitting the post.
I think if you look at Arsenal right now, who they have pound for pound, we can compete with anybody. But has this team been together long enough now to really play together and get it clicking and get it cracking? I mean, that's the real question I have. Now Song's future seems to be up in the air.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you about if you heard anything else. Because I've been hearing different reports by different people. Well, mostly the Spanish media, which is more divisive. Because I tweeted about this saying that the Spanish media are basically going to enforce this trade because they got like one of the Espanyol goalkeepers, I guess, is a friend with Song.
Yeah.
He said that Song wants to go to Barcelona. And, they've been making all these claims saying he'd fit here, he'd fit perfectly. And I'm sure they're asking Arsenal questions about it. So
Yeah.
it could be a situation where they might not want to get rid of him, but they might have to because he might want to be there.
Yeah, he might. But I'm right now for Song, I don't think that would be the appropriate move for him.
I agree with you on that.
I don't think he has the speed to play up there with Iniesta. Bad thing for Arsenal too. Song goes, then that back line is really exposed.
Yeah.
And any problems in that back line, Song is sometimes the only one that holds that back line together. He slows it down enough for them to gather themselves. I mean, that's not Arteta's forte. That's not Wilshere's forte. And there's Song, and Song can play defense. He can play on that back line if he needs to. I've now seen rumors flying around about Xavi Alonso coming to Arsenal.
Well, if you can get rid of him Song early and find somebody, I think you could find somebody half of what you're going to get for Song, and they might actually be a better just holding midfielder and letting Arteta and Wilshere and those guys do their thing. Because Song also likes to bomb forward too at the same time.
Right.
So you might want that guy to just say, all right, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be a rock. I'm going to hold it down. Yeah. I think Arsenal can do that. I think Wenger could do that.
I mean, we've kind of touched on RVP. I'll just put my last 2 cents into that. I say if he's making noise to go, get rid of him. If he wants to go to United, I don't care. I really don't. Part of me looks at it as an Arsenal business move of, if you can get the money for him now and he doesn't want to sign another contract, get it. Don't let him walk on a free. We let too many guys that go walk on a free. Get the money for him while you can, is what I say.
You need to get the bank on him.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to pay the bank.
Well, that's not Arsenal's problem. I'm surprised City isn't more in the running for him. If for no other reason so that nobody else gets him. You know that little trick that Chelsea used to do years ago?
Yeah.
Buying people just for the simple fact of, preventing other clubs from getting him.
Yeah, absolutely.
They certainly have the money, so I'm surprised that they're not more of a player. They pulled out early.
Well, because they probably look at it and go, well, what if we pay this obscene amount of money for him? He gets hurt and sits on the bench.
Well, I mean, they're not hurting for money, though.
Yeah, but
they're not $1 billion in debt like United is.
Well, that's a whole
subject for another day.
Yeah, that whole thing. I've been following that. That's just absurd. The Glazers are idiots.
The more Americans that get involved in this league, the worse it gets.
Absolutely. Well, I say that, but Arsenal seems to be doing all right. I will say that. There doesn't seem to be...
Yep, there are exceptions to the rule, I guess.
There doesn't seem to be too much screwed up over there yet. I'll put the caveat of yet in there.
Yeah.
Who do you guys see as being a weak link this season? I followed some of the Southampton Udinese game, and Udinese just walked on them. I mean, absolutely routed them 4-0. And, I kind of hate that for Southampton, but, whatever. They are a rival this year, so I don't care. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I guess there are a lot of candidates. I wonder about the Southmore jinx for some of the promoted teams from the year before.
Right.
Namely Queen's Park Rangers and Norwich. I'm wondering about.
Yeah.
I just think it'll be interesting too, because I'm wondering also about Swansea, because they did lose their manager.
Right.
And I think he was a major reason why they did so well last season. There's an adjustment that's going to have to be made there, and it's hard to make an adjustment as a new team still at this level.
Right.
The amount of talent that they're not able to really do much with, and so I am fearing for them. I don't know. Those are the teams that I think. I know it's kind of cheap to go with those selections, but those are the ones I think are in trouble already.
Yeah, very likely. You got your 2 cents to throw in there, Angry?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the similar thought that Dre has. I kind of said that earlier, before the end of last season, that I'll be more worried about these, teams that were promoted, because now you have to maintain. Now you have to find a way to keep up. You did enough to stay up, but now you have to do more to stay in the race, stay in the Premiership, and that's quite hard, especially with Norwich and Swansea losing their manager.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it'll be tough for them. And Southampton and Reading. I mean, Reading usually a team that comes up and then goes right back down. Comes up, goes right back down. So I don't, it just depends on what they've done this transfer window, and you don't really see a lot, and that's concerning that you don't see much coming from them. So,
but the one team that really interests me this year, y'all, is Wigan. I'm interested to watch Wigan. That form that they had at the end of the season when they were just slaying the big teams, I wonder if they come roaring back in with that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting if they can put an entire season together instead of just the last quarter.
Right.
together, they would be formidable.
And not even maybe what someone would consider winning, but just solid.
Yeah.
So they finish in the middle of the table. I would be impressed if they did that, because they're one of these teams that, 1 week they play, like they did the end of this last season. They play like, who is this team? Where have they been all season? And then the next week you're like, oh, my U16 could play them and do all right. Really, that's what I watched last year and went, man, what happened to that team that I saw last week? Because this week, they should be in the blue square, not in the premiership, because they suck.
I wonder too if a lot of the way they ended the season will really make the difference in their confidence approaching this new season, when they realize, hey, if we can start out the season like we ended last season, that gives us a fighting chance, to do something, to go somewhere, to qualify for something. And you're right. I think that's one of the teams to watch. Them along with Sunderland. And I've been really disappointed with Sunderland's actions in this offseason. With O'Neill coming on board, I thought that, hey, they got the right manager. They got a guy with money who owns a club, but he's not letting them buy anything. And so they need to buy, because they've lost the best player in the Premiership.
Oh,
he's gone back to Arsenal. I don't even have to say his name.
Yeah,
And so,
he's about to be Arsenal's leading scorer this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to make the difference for Arsenal's, the double this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
What do you mean? What do you mean double? With him, we'll have
treble,
a triple.
baby, quadruple.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna quadruple.
FA Cup, Champions League, and League.
He might be golden boot for Europe, dog. Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, watch out.
Yeah.
All
Here
right,
comes Bentner.
All right, I think I'm going a little too far there. I apologize to all the listeners out there. Didn't think I would make a statement like that. I can't even be serious about that.
I sure he's lost even more credibility now.
Yeah, well, Nicholas Bentner, he's up in the running with Messi. Look out, world.
Just let him cook. Just let him cook.
Change the subject, man. I'm getting a headache.
Yeah.
Well, at least Wigan, they bought players and they brought in players on loan. The Miyachi guy from Arsenal.
Yep.
He's going to be there for a season, and I've heard that they just bought in Aruna Kone from Levante, who scored 15 goals in the La Liga last season. So they're trying to do some serious stuff at least. Now, whether the team could perform, we'll see.
Yeah, that's yet to be seen. And another thing, this is the point in the show. I haven't mentioned it yet, but Spurs suck.
There it is.
And right along with them in that same slop bucket,
Newcastle
are the filthy Geordies of Newcastle.
Where's Kurt when we need him?
Yeah, I just had to throw that in there. Well, guys, anything else?
No, I'm just waiting for the season to start. I think we can talk a lot about the speculation, a lot of transfer rumors and whatnot. I think a lot of the papers are just filling up their papers with that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
when it all comes up on Saturday, then we can put all that stuff away and talk about the action on the pitch.
Yep, absolutely.
Don't go away. After a brief message, we'll bring you a new weekly feature in the form of Louise Kay's football predictions. Pod Hunting, the source for authentic American soccer wear. Pod Hunting was formed in 2010 with one simple mission: patch holes in a century of American soccer history, one t-shirt at a time. It is a tale of amazing clubs and world-class players. It features an Open Cup competition second only to the English FA Cup itself. It is filled with political strife, hostile takeovers, and world travel and international intrigue. Myth has it that pro soccer arrived in the U.S. about the same time as the NFL's Super Bowl. In reality,
U.S. pro soccer thrived long before the Depression-era Dust Bowl. Join pot hunting and rediscover the lost heritage of soccer in the United States. Pot hunting, the source for authentic American soccer wear.
We are full-service photographers here at Images Frozen in Time. We offer beauty portrait sessions with all the glamour of a professional makeover. Our maternity and baby portrait sessions creatively capture those special family milestones. Baby showers, bridal showers, family reunions, and weddings are only to name a few of the events that we can help you capture. Let us professionally capture each and every moment of your special family moments so that they will forever be treasured as your family's images frozen in time. Give us a call today at 678-900-8317. Don't let those moments be lost forever, and let Images Frozen in Time be your photographers for life.
Hello guys, I'm Louise Kay and welcome to Louise Kay's Football Predictions. I have been so excited like all season, well all summer for this even. The Olympics, which was great. I'm not a massive fan of the Olympics, but I'm so glad this is back, and I've just done my first whiteboard of predictions. I'm like, it's really exciting. I mean obviously I was going to do a transfer video, but my laptop went a bit funny, so I never got a chance to do it. Obviously, the big transfer news for my team anyway is Robin van Persie. I did tweet him on my birthday asking if he was going to stay or leave, and he didn't reply, which is a bit of a shame. So, well, who knows what's going to happen there. From my point of view, I just hope he goes. Once a player starts being destructive like that, I think they should just leave. But it's each to their own, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to get on with my predictions. I'm so excited about doing this all summer, I'll tell you. So, we have got, let's move up a little bit, we have got on Saturday, the 18th of August, we've got Arsenal-Sunderland, which I think is going to be 2-0 to Arsenal. Fulham-Norwich, 1-0. QPR-Swansea, 1-0 to Swansea. Reading-Stoke, 0-0. West Brom-Liverpool, which is going to be 1-0 to Liverpool. West Ham Aston Villa, which is going to be 1-0. Newcastle Tottenham, kind of hope that this one comes right. It's going to be 2-1 to Newcastle. Then we're moving on to Sunday's games. Excuse my horrible handwriting. Wigan Chelsea is going to be 2-0 to Chelsea. Man City Southampton. Man City, I think, are going to continue their thrashing of everyone, and do have a 3-0 win. And Monday the 20th of August, Everton Man United, which I think is going to be 2-1. So I'm really excited about getting back into these. It's Wednesday and I've got them done already. So long may it continue, and hopefully I'll get every week done, because I missed a couple of weeks last season. But I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I really did. My Twitter name is underneath as well, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you do. I hope you enjoyed this as well, and I will be back next week, hopefully celebrating that Arsenal have won. And yeah, it's going to be good. So guys, I will speak to you all next week. Mwah.